All right, everybody, let's get into the conversation that we're hearing now as real estate agents more and more as we approach July. If you are not in the know, obviously you need to understand that NAR, the National Association of Realtors, and several large real estate brokerages were sued over the last couple of years. And it came down to the concept of should a seller have to pay a buyer's agent a commission? And the brokerages and NAR settled and accepted the judgment that they will no longer put buyer's agents commissions on the MLS. So when a buyer goes and looks at a home, it specifies how much that home, that seller is paying in commissions. Now we're going to address that in just a minute because even that is a little bit of a misnomer. But let's get into the genesis of how we got there. And then I want to talk about how this is going to affect you if you're thinking of selling your home, because there are some things you need to think about prior to listing that can affect, number one, how long it takes your home to stay on market, and number two, what's the final sales price. So you definitely want to hang with me on that as we get into that. So let's talk about how we got there. There has been for 100 years a way that we have sold houses as real estate companies, real estate brokers in this particular um, um, business transaction. Home sellers, homeowners would list their home with an agent. The agent would do an agreement with the home seller. And in that agreement, it would say, we're going to charge you this much commission to sell your home. Now, you're going to pay my broker, let's just say 6%, just make it easy. And then when we close on this transaction, we are going to take 3% of that 6% that you're giving us. And we as a broker are going to give that to a buyer's agent. And this is what we're going to pay the buyer's agent. So the lawsuit charged that brokers, the National Association of Realtors and Brokers, were unfairly pressuring homeowners to offer a compensation to a buyer. And that's just simply never been the case. A lot of misinformation has been on this. And I'm not trying to defend I'm a real estate agent, but I'm not trying to defend them and make home sellers look bad. This is not the case because I'm all about giving my clients a good offer of compensation, a fair deal to get their property sold. Now, in this scenario, the contracts never stipulated that the seller had to pay a buyer's agent. These as is the listing agreements always showed what the seller paid the listing agent's broker. It was up to the listing agent's broker to disclose what they were going to pay out of that to have a buyer's agent bring a ready, willing, and able buyer. I hope that makes sense. So in no way has a seller ever been compelled or forced to pay a buyer's agent commission. Now we can have a discussion on that, but I don't want to do that on this video because I want to get to some real life examples of how this is going to impact you as a home seller and how you can navigate around it. So recently, not only has the agents on my team, but nationally, the agents that I coach and teach, and it just happened to me, have had conversations now with people thinking of putting their home on the market. Now, understand, we're not even in July yet. And in July, nationally, when a real estate agent takes a listing, they can no longer put on the MLS compensation to a buyer's agent. It's up to the buyer's agent now to negotiate that with either his buyer or the seller. Now, we're going to get into that in a minute because that is going to directly affect key core concepts and strategies on how you're going to get your home sold for the price you want. So now, before July, we're now getting home sellers saying, hey, I'm going to list my home and I want to save a bunch of money, so I'm not paying that buyer's agent commission. Okay, you can do that. Not a problem. Here's what's going to happen, and please understand. Basically, what you're saying as a home seller is, I'm going to pay a listing agent to list my home, and I'm going to pay the listing agent X amount of commission, but I'm not paying a buyer's agent. So potentially what you're doing is you're listing your home as a for sale by owner, but you're paying an agent to put it on the MLS, and you're paying the agent thousands of dollars to do that. One of the nuances of selling for sale by owner is typically it takes a for sale by owner home a long time to sell. statistically versus listed homes with agents. And NAR keeps a statistic of what a home seller that lists as a FSBO actually makes at the end of the transaction. And we're finding that a FSBO home sells for a lot less than a home that's listed with a real estate agent, because home sellers aren't designed with the objection handling, how to negotiate, most home sellers. And if a home sits on the market for a long time, that's where you start getting these crazy price reductions. And so what will happen is, in this scenario, and this is my opinion, come July, if a seller says, I'm not paying a buyer's agent a commission, I think you're going to find that your home is going to stay on market a very long time. And we know the longer a home stays on market, the quicker the home drops in value to the end user. Also, I want you to think about this. If a buyer is thinking of buying a home and the seller is not going to pay an agent, the buyer is going to automatically calculate in his mind, well, that agent's or that home seller is saving tens of thousands of dollars. I'm coming in low. Nothing's really going to change, in my humble opinion. What's going to change is the river that we're navigating is now going to become tumultuous and dangerous for not only real estate agents, but for home sellers. At the end of the day, you have a product you want to sell. So the question then is, how are you going to sell it? If you have no buyer's agent compensation, do you think the buyer's agents are then going to show your home? Or do you think that the buyer who has now, as of July, has to sign a buyer's agency exclusive contract with that real estate agent to work exclusive with them? Do you think that that buyer is going to pay not only their down payment, they're going to be paying their closing cost and now an added commission to their buyer? They're probably going to tell their buyer's agent, and this is just simply psychology. Let's go find the next home. Let's find somebody willing to go ahead and compensate us so we can get this deal done. That's just psychology, guys. That's business. So I think what's going to happen in July is we're going to have about 6 months of a bloodbath, right? Homes are going to be staying on market a long time. So let's talk about what sellers should know moving forward, especially after July. Let's talk about how compensation works. Let's get level here. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to pay anybody anything, right? It comes down to what you're willing to do to get your property sold. So how does compensation work? I'm going to read this off, guys. So you'll notice my glasses are, yes, the ninja has to have glasses. Compensation has always been your choice. It's never been forced on a seller. You negotiate the fee that you're willing to pay your listing agent for the services of marketing and selling your property. Now, sellers may choose to compensate a buyer's agent, but the buyer's agent must request an understanding of this amount before or along with an offer. So what's going to happen now, guys, is when you get offers, it's going to have what the buyer's agent is requesting in order for this offer to consummate. And the buyer might have already instructed the agent, if they don't offer compensation, let's cancel and move on to the next home. You guys see where I'm going with this? It's not that you don't have to pay them. But if buyer's agents are being informed by their clients to move to the next property, now you are in a position where your home isn't going to receive the offers that you want. And again, long term, bad, because you're going to pay that commission either to an agent or in the price reductions or simply not sell the home, right? That's where the next 6 months from July to December are going to be very, very troubling waters for the entire industry as this thing works its way out. Now, beginning in July, rules for buyer's agents will be updated to require every buyer agent to use a buyer representation agreement to show properties. A buyer working with an agent will not even be able to view properties without this agreement. Now, this is already in place in a lot of markets and will now apply to the entire country. Now, as a seller, do you have to put your home on the MLS? We strongly recommend it, but it's your choice. Like I said at the beginning, you can go for sell by owner, right? And offer no compensation, but think about the long-term effect that will have in terms of how long your home stays on the market. And statistically and analytically, the longer your home stays on the market, the lower price you're going to get. So again, back to the concept, you either pay and get it sold quickly, or you wait for a long time and you pay. That is your decision and your choice. And surely nobody will make you do that. And if you want to go that route, you please make sure you look below and get my contact information and let me know that you want to go that route. I will help you. without ever asking you to list your home with me. That's the type of ninja real estate agent I am, guys. If you're going to go that route, I will give you an unfair advantage by granting you access to my massive, massive marketing suite of tools. I'll even show you how to use it, but that's for another video. If I don't pay a buyer's broker, will agents show my house? Now, this is a sticky wicket. Agents are legally required to show homes as directed by their buyers, regardless of compensation. Your choice regarding buyer's broker compensation is best discussed with your listing agent to determine what's right for you. Now, could I pay my listing agent more than the buyer's agent gets paid? Absolutely. You can negotiate the fees and services with your listing separate from what the buyer may request or pay their buyer's agent. What if I don't want to pay a fee to the buyer's agent? Again, that is your choice. This is your choice regarding buyer broker compensation and is best discussed with your listing agent. So guys, what we're going to see, again, starting in July, and it's already happening now, is a lot of misinformation will start to get corrected. What do we know right now? You don't have to pay a buyer's agent. And quite frankly, you never had to in the past. Your listing agent negotiated a commission from you, and you agreed to pay that commission. And the listing agent, in turn, took a portion of that commission and paid the buyer's agent's broker for compensation to bring a ready, willing, and able buyer. If you decide in July, or even now prior to not pay that buyer's broker commission, you're going to put yourself in a situation where potentially, this isn't a guarantee, because you might find a buyer and boom, you're ready to go. But you might find yourself in a position to create a scenario where your home stays on market for a long time. And that, at the end of the day, will statistically cost you a lot of money that you could have paid marketing your home to the vast array of buyer's agents to get it sold, right? So make sure you check with your listing agent to get the nuances of what this is going to do and affect our ability to market and sell your homes, right? Again, if you have any questions, I also have a link below in my description. You're welcome to get on a Zoom with me. This is not a listing Zoom. I'm not going to talk about listing your home, but if you want to have a more frank and personal conversation with me, if you're considering selling, I definitely welcome you to get on that Zoom with me, and I'll answer any questions you have. And if I can't, I will definitely get back to you on those answers. But guys, we are about to see a massive shift in the real estate economy for the entire country. And in July, it becomes canon, where we are now going to see a shift. What are some of the benefits to you as a homeowner? You know, this is where I'm going to veer off the real estate talk and just talk shop with you as a homeowner. For years, I've always talked about giving value to my clients. I want to make money. My business wants to make money, right? I'm not in business as a real estate agent to do it for free. I have a family to provide for. This is my business. I have agents to provide for. I've got a marketing budget that needs to be fed so we can continue to have good results. But for years, I've wanted to give my clients amazing value. So while I'm not what we call a discount brokerage, what I mean by that is I'm willing to do it for a couple $100s, right? And you can find people to do that. But again, your level of service is non-existent, which will affect the time it takes to sell your home, which will affect what you make at closing. It's all interrelated. But guys, one of the things I've always done is I've always tried to give that value to my clients, and my programs are designed to save my clients thousands of dollars in what I consider to be local area agent listing fees. And I can do this at scale to help my clients out, help them keep more of their equity. So I'm okay with having a conversation about fair compensation, about not having to pay some of the significant. I've seen agents getting 7% or more and sellers agreeing to it. And that is a decision you have to make. If you love what they're going to do and there's a good track record and you think there's value, go for it. But I also think that as real estate agents, this new ruling is going to start to peel back the layer, and you're going to see a lot more. And this is good for you as a homeowner, a lot more reduced commission fees, both on the listing side and the buyer side. And again, if you want to find out a little bit more about my thoughts on that, get on the calendar with me. I'd love to share with you what I think is going to happen. But we have always, at the Real Estate Ninja team, we have always provided excellent service, a marketing plan that is superior. When you see what we do digitally, you're going to be blown away. The fact that I can expose your homes the first minute you go live on the MLS to 50,000 local residents every week is beyond the pale. And I don't know any other agent that can do that. And that's just one of 20 things that we do. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you create more equity by partnering with us than you would with other local entities. And so I don't have a problem looking at in July how this is going to affect the local real estate market. I think we're going to start to see a lot better deals for homeowners, right? A real estate agent and a broker, they are worthy to be paid what they do. But now we're going to see more competition. It's kind of like what happens when a city that has just one gas station on the corner allows 3 or 4 other gas stations to come in around that one. They start to compete with one another, and competition is always healthy. So guys, that's what I wanted to talk with you guys today about. Is there's a lot of misconceptions about the NAR commission ruling. And if you think as a home seller that, haha, I don't have to pay that buyer's agent commission, I'm going to save a lot of money, you've gotten one half of that equation right. You do not have to pay a buyer's agent commission, but it's the saving a lot of money that I think you need to ponder. You need to really look at in terms of your goal for selling a home, and look at the ramifications of how that can affect you. Because at the end of the day, and I've said this at least 4 times, the longer your home stays on market, the higher statistically you are going to see price reductions, and you're going to start to see a lot of offers come in that are low. One other thing, and I failed to mention this, and I apologize because I was about done with this video, but here's another thing. A lot of home sellers, if they don't offer a buyer's agent commission, will have situations where they get contracts from buyers. Maybe they go online and find a contract, and it's full of errors. It's not a contract that's been approved by lawyers that's protecting both sides. They might even contact a lawyer to write a contract. So what's going to happen is I think you're going to start to see, without the help of a professional buyer's agent to craft and create the right type of contract that protects both parties, you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff. You're going to see stuff. You might even see a contract come to you that's written as an email, right? I mean, this is some crazy stuff. So be prepared, guys. If you are a seller and you do go the route where you're not going to offer a buyer's agent commission, make sure you have a great title company that's, in my opinion, you should really partner with a law firm that does real estate closings so they can guide you on this process. Because at the end of the day, if your contracts are not solid, if they have language in it that's interpretive and can be interpreted a bunch of different ways, you're not protected. So that's another use of why a good real estate buyer's agent can come in and make sure that everything is handled properly, that there's T's are crossed, I's are dotted, everybody's protected. The language is protecting both parties, not just the buyer. So if you do go it on your own, please, my advice would be to connect with a local real estate attorney that closes, that has a title company, or he closes real estate deals, so that you can have that legal advice. You can funnel offers to him to find out if that offer is really something you should take. Does that make sense? All right, guys, that's it. Get ready, because July's coming and it's going to be an interesting time. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions, and let me know if you want to talk. If there's something that you would like to discuss with me. If you're relocating the area, you definitely want to talk to me, because whatever buyer's agent we are able to secure as a buyer, we give you 25% of that back at closing to help you with closing costs or any type of closing fees that you would like to apply them to. And sellers, if you're selling in our area and buying another home, you definitely want to talk to us, because our program will save you thousands of dollars in heavy fees and put more equity back in your pocket. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know the drill. If you love this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, stay on this journey. We try to put content like this and other styles of content on this channel to help you guys navigate the real estate niche and navigate relocation questions and navigate all of the education you're looking for about the local area, the Central Florida area, specifically Clermont and the surrounding cities. All right, that's it, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.